The mistakes on the other stadiums, and everyone being built now are getting better and better.
Well, you ask, why are we opening it over there a week from Thursday? The White Sox open on the road, and they'll be on the road until next Thursday. That'll be opening day for them.
I think they're in Baltimore now.
I believe so. They're going to have a good ball club.
Hey, that Chicago is going to be rocking and rolling this year with the Cubs and the White Sox. They both have excellent teams.
Two fine teams, a brand new ballpark, and a great city. Should be a great summer of baseball in Chicago. Mickey Tettleton will bat. Switch hitting catcher. And he hits it on the ground. A base hit into left. I tell you, the grass is a little bit long and it's damp, and that ball was a base hit all the way, but it slowed down quickly.
Well, Detroit's always been noted for the grass being very thick. Of course, it's all new sod here, and with the tremendous weather, it's gotten a little longer. You're not going to see Mickey Tettleton hitting the ball on the ground the left side very often. He's a pull hitter, left-handed. It's a lot of balls in the air.
There's Travis Fryman. Came up last year and electrified this city. 9 home runs, 27 runs batted in, and a .297 batting average. And played well at third base. And he takes a strike from Tim Leary.
Fryman's really blessed with a lot of ability. He's going to be an outstanding player, and he'll be as good as he wants to be. If he can think at the plate and do the things automatically, then he's going to be a tremendous player.
Runner at first, nobody out. We're in the second inning. And a big swing and a miss by Fryman. This first home run here as a Tiger last year traveled over the 400-foot mark in deep left center, just to the left of the flagpole. He's going to see a lot of sinking pitches now from Leary when he's behind on the strike 2 count.
They like to pitch him away. He is swinging a lot of bad pitches, and he tries to pull the outside pitch.
That'll make it a ball and 2 strikes. Almost a waste pitch by Leary. Well, we've been blessed here. We had rain at the start of the game, almost with the first pitch. It didn't last long, and no rain at the moment, but it's threatening. He strikes him out. He threw the fastball by him, and Fryman strikes out. Second strikeout for Leary.
Well, here's a pitch you won't see him throw, Travis, too often, except with 2 strikes, because he loves the ball inside. When you had 2 strikes, you're sort of protecting the plate, and you can throw the ball by you inside. But normally they like to pitch him away.
And the batter is Milt Kyler. Youngster swung the bat very well in spring training. Very surprising. Better than they expected. Here's what he did last year with the Tigers in his brief time up here. 1 ball, no strikes. And a ground ball. It could be a double play. Out at second, and a wild throw, and down to second goes Kyler. Espinosa threw it in the dirt. It skipped by Mattingly.
Here's a look at the double play. This is a good double play ball, a good flip. Espinosa, these guys turn the double play extremely well, but maybe the ball might have been a little wet because of the rain. Espinosa, great fielding shortstop. Mattingly, a Gold Glove winner, but unable to make it this time.
So the runner at second, 2 outs, and the batter is Tony Phillips. Tony was caught looking on a 3-2 pitch his first time up. Pendleton opened this inning with a single. Fryman struck out in the force play at second for the second out. And the pitch is outside to Phillips. Bill Deegan, substitute umpires behind the plate. Mark Akiti. Akiti is at first base. Randy Harvey's at second. And Tim Noss is the umpire at third base. The strike has been settled. On Wednesday, we'll see the regular umpires back. Boy, they make it close here on a pickoff play.
And he's really not that far away. He must have been looking away. And if that ball was down, he'd have been out. Oh, he slipped. There's the reason why. He slipped. His foot gave away from him.
Tony Phillips with a chance to pad the Tiger lead. Fly ball to left. Should get him out of the inning. Mullins is there, puts it away, and at the end of 2, the Tigers 2, the Yankees 1. Well, both pitchers settle down after a rocky first inning, Al. Maybe the butterflies, whatever.
Well, I think that's true. You know, just like anybody else, your adrenaline's flowing, and you might be trying to throw the ball a little harder. And look like now, 2 veteran pitchers, they'll settle down and go about their business.
Frank Tanana has retired 4 batters in a row after giving up the run-scoring single by Mullins in the first inning. He got the side out in order in the second. Tim Leary gave up a leadoff single in the second inning after he gave up a 2-run homer to Alan Trammell in the first inning. Here's part of the crowd, and a big, big crowd on hand on opening day, as you might expect. Even though the weatherman hasn't promised very much for this day, they've still turned out. Weatherman says, I gave you 3 beautiful days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then the storm clouds have moved in, and we're going to have showers throughout the day. But no rain at the moment. Here's Steve Sachs. The pitch is high. Steve Sachs flied to right field on the first pitch of the game.
Now here's the guy you want to keep off of base. He's a great base stealer. And if you can keep him off the base, you can shut down the Yankee offense.
And he takes a strike. Steve Sachs, a long-time Dodger, played out his contract and signed a big contract with the Yankees.
Yeah, he didn't think he was being treated fairly. He was brought up through the system there. He was a Rookie of the Year for the Dodgers, and he said, you don't give me any respect. And he said, I'm going to go sign with somebody else.
I'd say that's quite an emotional move from Los Angeles to New York for a youngster that was raised in California. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Look out. That'll make it 2-2. Frank was going to jam him with a good fastball, and he got it too far inside. Ball 2, strike 2 to Sachs. And he fouls this one away. This kid's got good bat control, and you don't strike him out much.
He hit a lot of balls to right field with 2 strikes on him. He waits as long as he can until he commits himself with 2 strikes.
He had 4 home runs last year and 42 runs batted in, and he bounces it toward Whitaker. So Steve Sachs is out. One out in the third inning. And the batter will be Don Mattingly. Don Mattingly had a single and scored the Yankee run in the first inning. Batted below 300 last year for the first time in a long time.
Well, he had a bad back. You see how he hits left-handers. He pulls them pretty much batting against left-handers. He missed 54 games because of an injury to his back.
This is foul past first base.
In fact, what they've told him to do is limit his batting practice, extra batting practice. He's one of those kind of guys that would hit all winter long, be at the park early, hitting in the morning, even during a game day, and then take extra batting practice. And they thought it was just too much of a strain on his back.
Frank Tanana gets ready on the 1-1 pitch. That'll make it ball 2. Ball 2, strike 1. Good shot as you see Tettleton flashing the signs. Ball hit into right field for a base hit. So Mattingly is 2 for 2 today.
Well, you're just looking at a pure hitter. It doesn't matter who's pitching against him, whether it's left-handed, right-handed. He just stays in there and swings the bat. Good strike zone. And here's a guy that hits well over 300 and can't run a lick.
Roberto Kelly will bat. Roberto was out on a fine play by Kyler in deep right center field his first time.
Good fastball hitter. Trouble with the breaking ball.
Low breaking ball. That gives a lot of people trouble. And there's the curveball for a strike.
He's gotten a lot stronger, George. He's hit 15 home runs. That's the most he's ever had in the season. And probably their most consistent player on the Yankees last year. He played in all 162 games in 1990.
During spring training, when the Pittsburgh Ball Club was talking to the Yankees about Bonilla and Barry Bonds, the players they wanted in exchange started with Roberto Kelly. That was the first name that came up. And the Yankees just lost interest. He struck him out on an outside fastball. He foul tipped it right into the mid of Tettleton.
Well, they talk about the Tigers striking out a lot. They have the Yankees have a lot of players that strike out well over 100 times. And if you're going to swing at that pitch, you're going to strike out a lot. That ball was down and away. Could have been a little off the plate.
Kevin Moss drew a walk in the first inning. Very dangerous left-handed hitter. And he hits it deep into right field. And this ball is gone in the upper deck. Oh, he's dangerous. This guy is a good-looking hitter, and the Yankees regain the lead, 3-2 over the Tigers.
Well, he's a dead fastball hitter, and Frank trying to get that first pitch to get ahead of the count, but this guy will jump on any fastball. He's a very short swing, very effortless. He doesn't take a lot of motion in his swing. He has that open stance there. You can see his hands over top of the plate. Very quick swing.
So it'll be Boom Boom Mullins who drove in a run in the first inning with a single. And another base hit for Mullins. He lines it into center field. Yankees' strategy at the moment against Tanana seems to be jump on the first good pitch.
Yeah, they're looking for the fastball all the way. They're taking his breaking ball and until they get 2 strikes, but they're looking for his fastball and then jumping all over it.
So with 2 outs, a home run by Moss for 2 runs, and then the single by Mullins. And the batter will be Jesse Barfield, who struck out his first time up. 3-2, the Yankees lead it. Big, strong right-handed hitter. Led the Yankees in home runs, 25 last year. Runs batted in, 78. They gave up a good-looking young left-handed pitcher named Al Leiter, and for this fella, and Leiter is just
not pitch. He's always had finger problems. He has blisters on his fingers every time he pitched, so he can't pitch too often. Although they say he's been pitching real well for Toronto.
Ball 2, no strikes to Jesse Barfield. We're in the third inning. Yankees 3 and the Tigers 2. It's been a parade of home runs and extra base hits. And a big swing at the breaking ball. You might say your typical opening day game, a lot of base hits, a lot of runs scored, but in 1940, Bob Feller pitched a no-hitter on opening day in Chicago. And it's 2-2 to Barfield. Of course, Bob Feller liable to pitch a no-hitter anytime.
You're talking about a little different pitching than Bob Feller and then Tanana and
Bob Feller. He's one of the great ones. Ball 2, strike 2. Runner at first and 2 outs. Tanana trying to get him out here in the third inning. And a base hit into left. He drills it by Trammell, and Barfield is on with a hit. The Yankees are swinging the bat. That's 4 hits in this inning. And the batter is Jim Leyritz.
Frank's been unable to get a fastball by any of the Yankee pitchers. Normally with 2 strikes he'll throw the fastball inside, but so far in today's game he's been unable to get the pitch inside.
We're going to get action in the Tiger bullpen.
Like Dan Petrie.
It is Dan Petrie. 2 on and 2 outs. Frank was about ready to get out of this inning. He had a runner at first base with 2 outs, but then the home run by Moss, singles by Mullen, and Barfield. Well, he's got to get the rookie catcher. This fellow's got some pop. 5 home runs on a limited basis last year. Well, I don't want to shock you, but the sun may be trying to pop out here. We could stand a little bit of that. Ball hit on the ground towards third. Fryman goes to first base, and the inning is over. 3-2, the Yankees lead it. Take a look now at the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan scoring summary. In the top of the first inning, Mattingly scored on a base hit by Boom Boom Mullins to make it 1-0 New York. Then Mosby doubled and Alan Trammell hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the first. The Tigers led it 2-1. But in the top of the third inning, Mattingly singled again and Kevin Moss hit a 2-run homer. The Yankees lead it 3-2. Tigers will be sending up Lloyd Mosby, Alan Trammell, and Cecil Fielder as Chuck Wozniak pans the crowd. A big crowd on opening day in Detroit on a rainy Monday afternoon. But at the moment, we're just about to get some blue skies and the sun. Maybe the pattern, in and out.
Well, I can't remember a opening day that was this warm.
72 degrees.
Well, I've played it many times, and I'm sure you have, George, opening days when it was 30, 35, 40-degree weather. This is outstanding.
There's Mosby. He had a double his first time up. Scored the first Tiger run when Alan Trammell hit a 2-run homer. Tim Leary gets ready to go to work. And the pitch is a strike. There's Bob Deegan. He's the umpire behind the plate. The regular umpires will be back on Wednesday. And the Yankees and Tigers play again here at Tiger Stadium. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Mosby, 10 years with the Toronto Ball Club, had some great years with the Blue Jays. 84, he had a tremendous year, batted .280, 92 runs batted in.
And a strike. Good fastball to the outside part of the plate. And it's 1-2 to Lloyd. He didn't like the call on it too much, but not getting any help from Bob Deegan, who says it was a strike. And he's out. Mosby trying to check his swing, and he's a strikeout victim here in the 3rd inning.
Well, this is what they don't want Leary to do, get ahead of the count. They can throw the split finger pitch. Look at the drop on this thing. And clearly Mosby swung at the ball, but they have to be hacking until they get 2 strikes.
And a big round of applause for Alan Trammell, who had a 2-run homer in the 1st inning. And he takes a strike. Led the Tigers with a .304 batting average last year. A 1-strike pitch. Bouncer toward 3rd. Ooh, Blowers let it play him a bit, but stayed with it to make the play. Mike Blowers with a good, strong throwing arm. That's a 2nd out, and the batter will be Cecil Fielder. Just a reminder that coming up later will be our Bud Batter's Box home run inning. And if your name has been selected and a Tiger hits a home run, you're going to win $100 and a share of a $10,000 bonus at the end of the year. So stay tuned. You could be a winner. Cecil hit it a long way, but pulled it foul. He hit it a long way his first time at bat, into the deepest part of the ballpark, straight away center field. 1 ball, 1 strike, 51 home runs, 132 runs batted in 1990.
There's only been 3 guys hit the ball over the left field roof here at Tiger Stadium. 2 are in the ballpark.
Here's a fly ball to right. Back goes Barfield, way back on the warning track, and he'll catch it on the warning track. At the end of 3, the Yankees 3 and the Tigers 2. come the Yankees in the 4th inning. Mike Blowers to lead off, Espinosa, and then Sachs. 3-2 ball game. Yankees got 1 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd. Tigers got 2 in the 1st inning on a 2-run homer by Trammell. Yankees had a 2-run homer from young Kevin Moss. Some doubt just before the start of the game as to whether Moss would play or not.
That's why the lineup was so late being released, because he has a slight hamstring pull and they didn't know whether he was going to be able to play today. But Frank Tanana kind of wished he wouldn't have played.
Yeah, he's had a walk and a home run. His last home run of the 1990 season came off Frank Tanana. Mike Blowers. He's the batter. He lined to right field his first time up. He hit it hard. Picked off by Deere. 1 ball, no strikes. Our next telecast will be Friday night right here at Tiger Stadium, and the White Sox will be in town. Boy, you want to come out and see that ball club. They've made some big moves after a good season last year. There's a strike. Getting Tim Raines is a franchise move.
I picked Chicago to win the West.
Not a bad move. Would that be a World Series or not? White Sox in Chicago. You'd have to rope them off. Just let them in one at a time. 1 ball, 1 strike. I was just about to say, in all the history of baseball, that's never happened. But in all the history of baseball, neither one of them have been in very many World Series. Cubs have not since they played the Tigers in 1945. Here's one hit deep, way back and left and gone. Blowers, Mike Blowers is at a home run, and the Yankees lead it 4-2. Looked like he hit a curveball.
Look, an off-speed pitch, no question about that. Flowers, you mentioned, hit a home run off of Frank last season. Looked like an off-speed pitch. Take a look at it again. Takes a little bit off the ball and right in the middle of the plate. He obviously looking for something off-speed.
There's Espinosa. He bounced out in the 2nd inning, his first time at bat.
Frank has not pitched inside today, and Frank, he will not survive if he pitches out over the plate. He has to surprise the hitters with the pitch inside.
1 ball, no strikes to the Yankee shortstop. And a ball that's fair down the right field line. He's going to hold with a single as Rob Deere hustles it back in. Hit it right on the end of the bat and just past Cecil Fielder. Looked like one of my 9-iron shank shots that just squibbed off the end of the bat past Fielder.
Dan Petrie still in the bullpen, getting ready.
Here's Sachs. He loves to hit in this kind of a spot with a runner at first base. Gives him a big hole. He hits the ball well to right field. And he takes a strike. He was looking for something out over the plate that he could drive into right field. He's 0 for 2 today. Batted .260 last year as a Yankee, but he always flirts with that 300 mark. We're in the 4th inning in Detroit. Yankees 4 and the Tigers 2. There goes the runner. Throw to second and out. Boy, Whitaker got his hands right down in front of the bag, and I don't know. He held on to the ball. Espinosa was out, but Pendleton double clutched. Started to throw, didn't have a grip, then he throws, and Lou just held the ball down there. Lou's limping. His hands hurt, and he's limping. Do you ever see that? I've done it. You have. Your hand is hurt, but you're limping.
He probably got spiked, more than likely. That's the dangers of playing the infield.
Yeah, we're going to get a new second baseman. I thought I saw Sparky signal to the dugout. He wants somebody out there, and I would imagine it's...
I just wonder whether he hyperextended his elbow.
Yeah, it is Bernazard. Tony Bernazard is grabbing his glove. They had the hit and run play on. The curveball was down and in. Sachs missed it. And Tettleton was able to double clutch, because when a runner is going on the hit and run play, he will not run all out. He's looking back to see what's going to happen in case the batter pops it up or hits it in the air, and he's got to get back to first base.
There it is again. Watch the pitches in the dirt. Tettleton has a little trouble getting it out of his glove. He has to double clutch, and the throw is right on the money. It's a late slide, but not a vicious slide. He's just sliding straight into the base. You know, there's no intent to hurt anybody. He just slides late, and you see there he slides over the bag. And Lou grabbing his elbow. Now, I don't know whether he might be hyperextended that elbow or not. There's Tony Bernazard at second base.
Sparky's blessed. He's got Bernazard, he's got Phillips, and he can do a little maneuvering that he couldn't do a couple of years ago. This little fellow right here will give you some punch in the lineup. What did he have? 20 home run, 25 in Japan last year?
Oh, he had more than that. I'll get it in a minute. I think he had 36. 34 home runs in '89. Had 13 last year.
Okay, he's the new second baseman, Tony Bernazard. And a strike 2 to Sachs. That'll make it 1-2.
There's the hitting pattern of Steve Sachs against left-handers. Pulls the ball against left-handers.
1 ball, 2 strikes. That'll make it 2-2. That's the pitch Al Kaline was talking about. Frank likes to jam right-handed hitters with 2 strikes on them. And a foul ball. What makes Sachs a good hitter? He doesn't try to pull everything. If he's fooled on it or something, he'll go to right field with it.
Yeah, he has great speed, so he knows if he puts the ball in play, he might get a bounder over the pitcher's head, or he might be able to find a hole someplace. What he doesn't want to do is strike out. That's why he's such a dangerous hitter with 2 strikes.
It's ball 2 and strike 2. And he bounces it towards third. Fryman picks it up. I tell you, Sachs was going all out, and Fryman got him by a step with a strong throw to first base. Second out of the inning. Watch Fryman now. He doesn't just lob this over there. I tell you, as well as he throws, he's still got to quit looking at the ball and taking his time. He did that last year a couple of times as a rookie, and it was too late. Now, he throws well, and he has great confidence.
He has a tendency to get the ball and then pound it in his glove.
Yeah. There's Mattingly. He's had a couple of hits today. He has figured in 3 of the 4 Yankee runs, and he didn't like the call on that one. You can tell him off pretty good, Don. He won't be here on Wednesday.
You might see something inside here.
Yeah, nothing else has worked with him. Fly ball into left field. Floyd Mosby will put it away. They get a run on the home run by Blowers, and it's 4-2 Yankees. Tigers coming to bat in the 4th inning, down by 2 runs. Tony Bernazard, who went into the ball game replacing Lou Whitaker, will lead it off. As we take a look at our booth, Al Kaline, you're looking very well here on opening
thank you,
day.
Sir. It'll get you everything. It's a great day here. Plenty of excitement. A lot of home runs. Tigers behind, but a lot of time left yet.
Just a typical opening day. I see very few empty seats, big crowd. Everybody happy because the rain has stopped and just in a good mood, even though the Tigers are behind 4-2. They're panning the crowd right now, and you see, boy, a big crowd in the bleachers. It's going to be an exciting year here at Tiger Stadium. I tell you, if you like home runs, long balls, a lot of runs being scored, you're liable to see it. Right now, Tiger fans will get their first look at one of their newer players, Tony Bernazard.
Yeah, Tony's been around a while. He spent 3 years with the White Sox, 4 years with Cleveland, 1 year with Seattle, and a couple years over in Japan.
And the pitch from Leary. Did you talk to him about Japan? Did he like it over there?
Well, yeah, both players, Cecil and Tony, both liked it. Of course, it's quite a shock over there. You know, got to carry your own bags and things of that nature.
1 ball, 1 strike. It's kind of a shock to a big league ball player. Bernazard leads off in the 4th inning for Detroit. And he takes a strike, makes it 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Right on over the head of Larritz. And the count is even at 2-2. Ball 2, strike 2 to Bernazard. And he struck him out. It's 5 batters in a row retired by Tim Leary, and he has 4 strikeouts.
Going to look at a pretty good split finger fastball here. Watch the drop on this. Watch the ball go down. Out of the strike zone. Most of the split finger fastballs that I ever see are not strikes.
There's Rob Deere. He flied deep into left field his first time up, and he swings at a bad pitch. Well, we had a very emotional moment here before the game. The first ball today was thrown out by Air Force Captain Stephen Tate. And he was credited with the first Iraqi jet shot down in the Persian Gulf War. Pitch is inside. I believe from Watersmeet, Michigan. Stephen Tate from Watersmeet, Michigan, in the UP. The 1-1 pitch, fouled away. Makes it 1-2. Yankees go home to open the season, and Chief of Staff Colin Powell will throw out the first ball. Here's the 1-2 pitch. A little bit high, and the count is even at 2-2.
Colin Powell is from the Bronx, so he'll be going home.
Yeah, he'll be right at home. Ball 2 and strike 2. Makes it 3-2 to Rob Deere. Tigers down by 2 as they bat in the 4th inning. Yankees have 8 hits today. The Tigers have 3. He struck him out. Rob Deere strikes out, number 5 for Tim Leary, and we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Tiger Baseball Network. Well, for a complete weekend sports wrap-up, watch Sports Final Edition. That's Sunday night at 11:30, only on 4. And the batter is Tettleton, Mickey Tettleton, who had a single his first time up. And he takes a strike.
Well, here's how Mickey hits against right-handers. He's a pull hitter. He'll pull a lot of balls down the right field line, hit them foul, but he's much better pull hitter left-handed.
Tim Leary seems to be settling into a pattern. He has retired 6 batters in a row. He had his first major league home run off Frank Tanana back in 1984. Tettleton had 25 home runs with the Baltimore club a couple of years ago. Ball 2, strike 1. That'll make it 2-2. Tim Leary trying to strike out the side here in the 4th inning. He got Bernazard, Deer, and it's 2-2 to Tettleton. And he got him. Tettleton caught looking. At the end of 4, the Yankees lead it 4-2.
Gotta be Trammell so far.
Four to 2, the Yankees lead it in the battle of home runs today. Kevin Moss has had a 2-run homer, and Mike Blowers a solo home run for the Yankees. For the Tigers, Alan Trammell accounting for both runs with a 2-run homer in the first inning. And we're in the 5th. Roberto Kelly will lead it off. I want you to look at the crowd. It is a shirt-sleeve crowd on this opening day. Probably the first time ever.
First time I can remember.
72 degrees. We had showers when the game started, lasted just a little while. Haven't had any rain since. But we will have maybe later today and tonight and tomorrow, the weatherman says. Here's Kelly. He flied deep into right center, and then he struck out. He's 0 for 2. Frank Tanana has gone all the way for the Tigers. And the first pitch to Kelly. It's a ball. One ball, no strikes. That'll make it 2-0. Frank missed with the changeup and then the curveball. Roberto loves to hit 2-0 and 3-1. Oh, he got a good curve in. You don't exactly look for the changeup curveball when it's 2-0. Ball 2, strike 1. Makes it 3-1. I'd like to keep him off base with Moss, Mullins, and Barfield coming up. Ball 3, strike 1. And he walked him. So Roberto Kelly is on. Second walk given up by Tanana. And here's Kevin Maas. He walked in the first inning to keep the rally alive. Then he hit a 2-run homer in the third.
Only 3 Yankee rookies ever hit more home runs than Kevin. And of course, 3 great names: DiMaggio, Bobby Mercer, and Joe Gordon.
There's the breaking ball. 1 strike to Maas. Well, Mrs. Barbara McGuire is here today, and her 2 sisters are coming with her, Mary and Marcia. But they're sick, and we're not able to come. She says, I had to come to opening day. Mrs. Barbara McGuire. Here come the Tigers, down by 2 in the 5th inning. Travis Fryman will lead it off, Milt Kyler, and then Tony Phillips. Tigers got 2 in the first inning. Lloyd Mosby double with 1 out. Alan Trammell hit a 2-run homer. They've had only 1 hit since. That was a single by Tettleton leading off in the 2nd inning. The Yankees got a run in the first inning on a single, a walk, and then a single by Mullins. They got 2 more in the 3rd on a single by Mattingly, a home run by Moss, and then a home run by Blowers in the 4th inning. And they lead the Tigers 4-2. Travis Fryman struck out in the 2nd inning. Leary has struck out 6 batters today. 4 of the last 6 he's faced. They play Fryman a little bit toward right field. Mullins gives him a lot of the line in left. And a foul ball. Our next telecast will be this Friday night. The White Sox will be in town. 7:30 starting time. There's a pop fly into center field. Kelly is not going to get there. He's never going to get there with that kind of an effort, Al. He never did make a move for it, as if the shortstop was going to catch it.
Yeah, the one thing you can't anticipate, and he looks like he says, hey, this is an infielder's ball all the way, and never did run after the ball as hard as he should.
So a single for Fryman leading off in the 5th inning. And the batter will be Kyler, who was safe on an error his first time up. Milt Kyler. Sparky has practically told this young man the center field job is yours to lose.
As long as he plays good defense, it's his job. If he messes up defensively, then he may not be out there too long.
He had a big rip at a fastball. Well, you see what he did in spring training. Batted .327. One strike as Leary gets ready. Bunt attempt is missed. And it's strike 2. Cleveland, opening in Kansas City today, scored a run in the first inning. They lead 1-0 over the Royals. Royals have got to get it going this year, Al. They've spent a lot of money on free agents the last 2 years. Nothing went right last year. And Kyler strikes out. 7 strikeouts for Leary.
Looks like Dan Petrie may be coming into the game. He's finished warming up, walking into the dugout, so that's usually an indication that he'll be coming in the game.
Kyler strikes out, and the batter will be Tony Phillips, who has struck out and flied to left today. Fryman is the runner at first, 1 out. Tigers down by 2. Tony digging him a hole at the plate. And Tim Leary playing a little cat and mouse with Fryman at first base. Now the pitch. It's a ball. Leary is really on a roll. He struck out the leadoff man in the 3rd inning. All 3 batters in the 4th. And he strikes out Kyler here in the 5th inning.
Well, he's night and day over the first 2 innings. His control was off. He was behind in the count, and that's when they scored the runs. But he's settled down and is much sharper now.
He's doing something right now Stump Merrill doesn't like. He's in the bottom of the 5th with a lead and rain in the area, and Merrill would like for him to pitch. Try to get him out, make it a official ball game. Sometimes when a pitcher starts hurrying everything, that's when he gets in trouble. It's ball 2. Ball 2, no strikes to Tony Phillips. Tony takes a lot of time, which bothers a lot of pitchers. Leary steps off again. Now Phillips is out. A grand slam home run by Jack Clark of the Red Sox. He's paying off up there immediately.
Big series. The Red Sox, the Blue Jays, they're the ones that's supposed to battle for the American League East.
And a strike. He got the outside corner. I guess that home run came off Steve. I think he was to be the starting pitcher for Toronto. They had been leading 1-0. Jack Clark, he should have a big year in the Boston ballpark.
Wow.
Of course, this game today is in Toronto, but he should have a big year at Fenway Park. Ball 2, strike 1. Yeah, Chuck Wozniak says if he stays healthy, he's had a history of being hurt, always on the disabled list, nagging injuries.
He has a history of not getting along with managers also.
And players. Tony Gwynn will not recommend him in San Diego. They didn't get along too good. Strike 2, and Phillips didn't like that call at all. He whirls on Deegan. Phillips was called out in the 1st inning on a pitch on the outside corner, and he hasn't been too happy since. Let's watch this pitch.
Well, from that angle, that certainly looked like it was outside.
He's going to have to turn the bat loose. Ball 2 and strike 2. And he struck him out. Ooh, watch out, Tony. Be careful. Whitaker's out of the game, and Sparky needs you in there. Boy, he's making some great pitches.
Yeah, he is hitting the outside corner. That ball was a much better pitch than the one before that he called a strike.
That is 8 strikeouts for Leary today.
There will be a game this year where some pitcher will strike out an awful lot of Tigers. You get a guy like Roger Clemens, somebody who can throw hard, hit the corners. This is the type of team that will strike out against the real good pitchers.
Well, they've got a good start today. 8 in the 5th inning.
And you're talking about a 19-game loser on the mound last year.
Yeah, he lost 19 times. Mosby had a double in the 1st inning, scored the first Tiger run. Things that has impressed me about Leary, he's been able to paint the corner, or at least according to Deegan, he's been right out there.
Well, he certainly kept the ball away from all the batters, and of course it's up to the hitters to adjust to that. He's just trying to sink it and trying to keep the ball in the ballpark.
It's ball 3. 3-0 to Mosby. All 3 no strikes. He's walked only 1 batter today. That was Whitaker back in the first inning. Stump Merrill is the manager, the little guy right here, standing by Frank Howard, your old buddy.
Yeah, Frank, one of the 3 guys ever hit a ball out of the left field in Tiger Stadium.
Mosby gets a walk. Lloyd Mosby a walk. The Tigers have 2 runners aboard for Trammell, who's had a home run today. Batted in both Tiger runs. Red Sox now lead 5-1 over Toronto. Alan Trammell hit 14 home runs in 1990. And the pitch is low.
14 years straight that Alan Trammell, Lou Whitaker combining for the double play combination for the Tigers. And well, I hate to be the guys that fill in or take over these guys' places years down the road, but they've been 2 great players.
There's the pitch to Allen, and a strike makes it 1 with Trammell. And with Bernazard in the game in place of Whitaker, they elect to pitch to him.
Well, that's why it's so important to have someone batting behind Cecil who can swing the bat, because they're not going to take any chances with the big guy.
So the intentional pass to Cecil Fielder. And Tony Bernazard, who's batted 1 time today, will come on. Tony struck out his first time up.
It really should be somebody that Tony should hit, because Tony's a dead low ball hitter, and Leary's been keeping the ball down.
Now, he didn't have good swings at him the first time up. He began switch hitting, it tells you, his 4th season. There's a pitch low. Leary, who just sailed through the 3rd and 4th inning, has thrown a lot of pitches here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, we have Eric Plunk warming up in the bullpen for the Yankees. A big, hard-throwing right-hander. This guy can throw as hard as anybody in the league, but only for about an inning or so. That's about all he can throw hard for.
Well, it looks like we're going to get a new Tiger pitcher. Dan Petrie completed his tosses, went to the dugout. More than likely, he'll be the new pitcher for the Tigers in the 6th inning. There's a drive into center. On the run is Kelly, and he'll catch it in left center field. Bernazard hit it hard, but caught by Kelly, and at the end of 5, we're tied at 4.
Dan Petrie will replace Frank Tanana. Dan, after a couple years in isolation out in California, returned to Detroit, and there's his record of a year ago, 10 wins and 9 losses. Of course, we all know the story. Dan came to spring training in '90 without a contract. He had a great spring, became a very reliable pitcher for the Tigers, and ended up winning 10 games. Had a so-so spring training, although throwing the ball extremely well. He pitched 25 innings in camp for the Tigers, had 29 hits and gave up 13 runs. He walked 7 and struck out 13.
And he'll be the pitcher of record. Tigers tied the score with 2 outs in the 5th inning. So Frank Tanana leaves the ball game, and he will not get credit for the win or the loss, whatever happens. Pitches high to Jesse Barfield. Barfield struck out in the 1st inning, singled in the 3rd. And we're tied at 4 here in the 6th inning. Pitch inside, ball 2. Ball 2, no strikes. Barfield, Larritz, and Blowers will be the batters for the Yankees. And he chops it foul right at the plate. Jesse Barfield is another hitter. You want to get in front of him. He loves to hit with the count in his favor.
Yeah, he gets 2 strikes, and he's a lot like some of the Tiger hitters. He'll swing at a lot of bad pitches when he gets 2 strikes, particularly off of right-handed pitchers.
And a strike evens the count at 2-2. Opening day in Detroit. Big crowd on hand, a lot of swinging of the bats, a lot of runs scored, tied at 4. And a bouncer to short. Alan Trammell goes to first. Jesse Barfield is out, short to first. And the batter will be Larritz, but he's not going to bat. We're going to get Noakes.
Matt Noakes, familiar face around here for several years. And who will forget the 87 year that Matt Noakes had for the Tigers? 32 home runs, 87 runs batted in. Really has not came close to that year back in '87. He's had a lot of trouble, injuries, and never has found that stroke again.
So Matt Noakes will come on to bat for Jim Larritz. We're in the 6th inning, 1 out, nobody on, score tied at 4.
Matt Noakes, a dead pull hitter. You can swing everybody around, and if he does hit the ball to left field, it won't go very far. But he tries to pull everything. In fact, he will pull a lot of balls foul.
Dan Petrie is the Tiger pitcher. And the breaking ball is low.
There's the defense. You can see how they're swung around. Look how far the second baseman's turned around. The right fielder's guarding the line.
1 ball, no strikes. And he pulls it foul.
Really a good way to pitch him is pitch him hard in until you get 2 strikes. That way he'll pull the ball foul all the time. You get 2 quick strikes because he will swing at the ball inside. He likes it in there.
One ball, 1 strike to the Yankee pinch batter as Dan Petrie gets the sign. Ooh, he changed up on him. That'll make it 1-2. Dan Petrie pulled the string on the breaking ball and caught Matthew well out in front. Barry Larkin has just hit a home run for Cincinnati in the 4th inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch. This is foul.
Greg Nettles, how about that? slick fielding former third baseman for the Yankees. One-handed that ball, nothing to it.
Well, nothing got by him when he played, and he wasn't going to let anything get by down there.
Gene Michaels took over as general manager. He brought back some of the old favorites. Nettles, Frank Howard's back with the team.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That'll make it 2-2. Matt Noakes can be pitched to, but you've got to be careful. And Petrie knows that, with the ball game tied at 4. A pitch from Petrie, and it's hit on the ground up the middle. Bernazard picks it off and throws it in the dugout. Oh, he had a lot of time. He didn't have to do that.
Absolutely right. He just forgot who was running. He had plenty of time to set himself and make the throw. That's a big error right there. He makes a great play. This is an outstanding play, but he has plenty of time to make the throw, but he throws off balance.
We're going to get another pinch batter.
That's Torey Lovello.
Torey Lovello will come on to bat for Blowers.
Yeah, he will be platooning at third base. He will bat against right-handers, and Blowers will be against left-handers. And, of course, Torey, a longtime Tiger farmhand, played with Detroit briefly, and really had the job last year, but really couldn't get off the go. Sent back to Toledo.
Well, the go-ahead run is at second, 1 out. And the batter will be Lovello, coming on to bat for Blowers, who's had a home run in this game. Blowers had a line drive that was caught in right field, and a home run his second time up. But like the days of Casey Stengel, platoon baseball in New York. Dan Petrie gets ready. The pitch coming up to Lovello. It's high. 1 ball, no strikes. Petrie got the first bat of this inning. Jesse Barfield. Then Noakes safe at second on the throwing error by Bernazard. Dan takes a lot of time with runners on base. Ball 2. Ball 2, no strikes. It's going to bring Billy Muffet out.
Dan's trying to overthrow. He's really letting his body go too fast forward instead of just being nice and smooth. He's really rushing his body, and that's why the ball's up in the strike zone. Dan has a tendency to do that. He sort of squeezes the ball and tries to overthrow, and then when you do that, you just don't have the same rhythm.
So a visit to the mound by the Tiger pitching coach, Billy Muffet. You know what he's saying? You want to get these guys, the 8th and the 9th place hitters. Don't go to the top of the batting order and get into a whole peck of trouble.
One of the problems with Detroit pitching last year, I believe, was when the Tiger fielder made a mistake behind him. The pitcher wasn't able to get that next batter out.
Here's the base runner at second, Matt Noakes. And there's only 1 out. Ball 3. 3-0 to Lovello. And they're going to walk him. With the count 3-0, Sparky elects to put him on first base and pitch to Espinosa. Well, a simple thing like a error can just turn an inning around. Instead of having 2 outs with nobody on, Yankees have 2 runners aboard with only 1 out. Espinosa had a base hit his last time up. Billy Muffet is signaling. You can see him in the background to the bullpen. He wants to get somebody started throwing. All A strike to Espinosa.
Espinosa missed most of spring training with a cracked finger on his ring finger in his throwing hand. He only played the last 3 games in spring training, so he's not sharp. There's Gibson.
Tiger infield at double play depth as Dan Petrie gets ready. And he bounces it foul. It's strike 2 to Alvaro Espinosa. Score tied at 4 here in the 6th inning. Yankees threaten. They have runners at first and second, 1 out. And Dan Petrie pitching in relief of Frank Tanana, trying to get him out. Still strike 2. Dan got that one a little bit higher than he wanted it, right up in his eyes, and he had a good swing at it. See the base runners. That's Matt Noakes at second. Lovello is the runner at first base. And a pitch high makes it 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Keep harassing the runner at second. Noakes, he will not run, but ball is hit to shortstop. They're going to have to hurry to get anybody. Safe at second. Lovello got a big jump, and he beat the relay to second base, and we've got the bases loaded.
Yeah, they were playing well back of him at first base. This ball was hit in the hole. You see how far Trammell has to go for the ball. He almost had a shot at third base, decides to go to second, and another good call by these amateur umpires right on top of the play.
Great call. Bases loaded, 1 out, and the batter is Sachs, and you don't double this fellow up too much. He runs with the wind. They score that a fielder's choice play. They couldn't get the runner at second. They weren't going to get anybody. But it's scored as a fielder's choice play. Bases loaded, 1 out. And the pitch to Steve Sachs. It's high. Dan Petrie getting into a peck of trouble here. An error started it, then a walk. And the play at second base. And the tough Steve Sachs. Makes it 2-0. Ball 2, no strikes. Matt Noakes is the runner at third base. Lovello at second. And Espinosa, the runner at first base. And it's ball 2, no strikes to this fella. Petrie ready. Ball hit to short. They go to second for 1 and out at first base. They turn the double play. Whoa, what a double play turn by the Tigers. And a great pickup by Fielder at first base. They get out of a big, big jam, and we're still tied at 4.
going to take a look at that last play. It's certainly the biggest play of this game so far for the Tigers. Steve Sachs, you have to realize, a tremendously fast runner. Tony Bernasard doesn't turn the double play as well as Lou Whitaker, but he does a great job here. And look at the pickup by the big man at first base. A tough in-between hop, and he's able to make the play. A good angle here. Watch as ball is thrown offline. Cecil goes down and makes the scoop. Good call.
I'm going to tell you, I am tremendously impressed with these umpires today.
They have done a wonderful job, and I won't forget that umpire coming all the way from first base to cover home plate
and make that call, and he just made this call, and he made it right on the double play.
There's Matt Noakes, stays in the game behind the plate.
Washington State, 20.
Oh, is at third base. 2 ex-Tigers.
And Rob Deere will lead it off in the 6th inning for the Tigers. Deere, Tettleton, and Travis Fryman. Pitch is high. Rob Deere today has fly deep to left and struck out in 2 trips. Did he swing at it? He did, said Bob Deegan. And the count goes even at 1-1. It's Tim Leary on the mound for the Yankees. He's gone all the way. The Tigers have used Frank Tanana through the first 5 innings and Dan Petrie in the 6th. And Gibson continues to throw, which might indicate he's coming in with a couple of left-handed batters in the 7th. Mattingly to lead off, and Moss the 3rd one. There's a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Rob Deere.
Rob stands a long ways from the plate, and he has a hard time seeing that pitch outside.
And he strikes him out. 9 strikeouts today for Tim Leary.
There's a split finger fastball. Watch it go down. And again, very few of these pitches are strikes. Must be very difficult for the players to see the ball, to see the rotation. But it usually drops out of the strike zone.
And we've got something here today you normally don't have on opening day. That's shirt sleeve crowd in center field. Makes it a little more difficult to pick it up. Normally everybody would be bundled up out there. Mickey Tettleton, the batter. Mickey singled and struck out today. Ball 2, no strikes. And a strike. Oh, man, he'd like to have that one back. Ball 2, strike 1.
Looks like he's not throwing very hard right now. Looks like he's relying more on off-speed pitches, and the bullpen's going to get started.
Yeah, they spotted it. There's a ball hit to first, picked off by Mattingly, and Mickey Tettleton is out. It's out number 2 in the 6th inning, and it'll bring up Travis Fryman.
There's the big left-hander, Cataray. Another hard thrower.
Just getting the attendance figures, 47,382. 47,382. Tremendous crowd on a rainy Monday in Detroit. And they've been rewarded too. Fine ball game. Lots of hitting, runs scored. And the pitch is high to Fryman. There's Gibson. That's the indication, isn't it? He'll be the pitcher. And Travis had a good swing at it. Travis Fryman batting with 2 outs and nobody on. Pitch is in the dirt. Ball 2, strike 1. We've got a breeze blowing toward left field. Left center. Ball will carry very well out there. Chopped to third base. Lovello on the run, and he gets his man. At the end of 6, we're tied at 4.
We have a new pitcher for the Tigers, Paul Gibson, trying to hold the Yankees in with a tie score here as we go into the top of the 7th inning, 4 apiece. Gibson, a good middle relief man. There's his record of a year ago. Appeared in 61 games. That's the most ever by Gibson that he's ever appeared in. 5 wins, 4 losses, a good earned run average, and 3 saves. Pitched pretty well in spring training. 9 games, 12 innings, 17 hits, and 5 runs.
He's facing the heart of the batting order. Don Mattingly will lead off. Roberto Kelly, and then Kevin Moss. It's one of the reasons Sparky brought him in with these left-handers, Mattingly and Moss. Mattingly's had 2 hits today and scored 2 runs, and he takes a strike from Gibson.
Really doesn't make much difference to this guy who's on the mound, although he probably doesn't hit with power as much with left-handers out there.
He tried to check it, and it's strike 2. We're in the 7th inning at Tiger Stadium, tied at 4 runs apiece, and the breaking ball is low. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the man he wants right here, and he hits it to first base. Cecil flips it on over to Gibson. He wanted the leadoff man here in the 7th, and he gets Mattingly on a bouncer to first base. Roberto Kelly, 0 for 2. He drew a walk his last time up.
How about that Albert Bell hit a home run, his first naturally, but he hit 11 home runs in spring training.
Here's one hit up the middle and a base hit by Roberto Kelly. 11 home runs in spring training is a bunch. A bunch.
That's almost as many as a whole team gets in spring.
Yeah. So a single by Kelly with 1 out, and the batter is Moss. Kevin Moss has walked, hit a home run, a 2-run homer, and flied to right field.
Have a good base runner, a good base stealer at first base. Whether or not they decide to let him run with this young pull hitter, guy who likes to pull the ball. Might want to give him a shot to hit the ball in the hole.
Pitch is over but low. 1 ball, no strike.
Yeah, here's a situation where you shouldn't even worry about the base runner, because if he steals a base, you can always walk this guy.
You see Kelly, he led the club in stolen bases last year. Ball 2, no strikes. Boy, he's made a couple of pretty good pitches on Moss, and he's behind 2-0. And he's got to be careful now. Ball 2, no strikes. Ball 3. Think they'll turn him loose 3-0? They might. See the base runner, Kelly. The 3-0 pitch. He walked him. I think the youngster was ready to swing at it too, and it was outside.
Nobody warming up in the Tiger bullpen. Here comes Billy Muffet out of the dugout again with right-handers coming up. 3 in a row. 3 pretty good hitters against left-handed pitching, by the way.
Well, this happened quickly. A single by Kelly, then a walk to Moss on 4 straight pitches, and all of a sudden Gibson's in a jam. Tigers got out of a jam in the 6th inning on a double play ball. You would think for the moment that Muffet might have been buying a little time, but there's nobody throwing in the bullpen, so he's not buying any time. He's just explaining to Gibson what he wants him to do. Throw the double play ball.
I don't know whether this guy hits a lot of balls on the ground or not. He has an uppercut swing, a fly ball type swing. That's why he hits so many home runs.
And he fouls it away. One strike to Mullins. He singled in the 1st, singled again in the 3rd, and then he popped it up in the 5th inning. Batting with 2 on and 1 out in the 7th. Hensley, boom, boom, Mullins. Oh, he had a good fastball to hit, and Gibson threw it right by him. He's thrown him 2 fastballs. Might be a double play. Out at second and out at first. Oh, they turn it again. In the 6th and again in the 7th, the Tigers turn the double play, and we're tied at 4. New pitcher too, Al.
I got it.
Well, here it is. This is our Bud Batter's Box inning, and going for the prize today is Joe Whiter from Troy, Michigan. Now, if a Tiger hits a home run this inning, Joe, you're going to win $100 and a share of the $10,000 bonus at the end of the year. So good luck to you, Joe Whiter from Troy.
Another big double play turned by the shortstop and second baseman, Trammell to Bernasar to Fielder to get Tiger pitchers out of a very difficult jam. And we have a new pitcher, Greg Ketteray, hard-throwing left-hander, of course, with the Oakland A's for 3 years, and then with the Yankees last year. And this guy was almost unhittable in spring training. His earned run average, 0.56.
Milt Kyler will lead it off in the 7th inning for the Tigers. Milt's been to the plate twice today, 0 for 2. He was on base on an error back in the 2nd inning. Then he struck out in the 5th. And a base hit into left. Kyler with a solid base hit leading off here in the 7th inning.
That's a good piece of hitting by Milt Kyler. The third baseman was playing way in on the grass. Any ball hit in that direction. A good chance to get by the third baseman unless it's directly at him. See that, trying to pull the ball in the hole at third base.
So the go-ahead run is at first base with nobody out, and the batter is Phillips. Tony's 0 for 3 today. He hasn't been a happy hitter today either. Some of the calls by Deegan has upset him a bit. And he'll bat right-handed against Ketteray. Base runner is Milt Kyler. Hey, we may put these umpires to a test here with that balk move to first base.
Well, they haven't done anything wrong yet today.
No, they haven't. I guess he didn't balk.
They'll probably make the right call, but it's a good situation to steal on. Matt Noakes doesn't throw well behind the plate.
Pitch is outside. I'm also impressed today by the weathermen. At 3 o'clock, we were informed it would rain in about an hour. It is now 2 minutes till 4, and they're beginning to put the umbrellas up. Just a light mist of rain. Right on the money.
Well, let's get a couple runs.
Yeah, let's get 2 runs before the rain.
Just in case.
Ketteray almost threw it away. That might have scored Milt Kyler had he thrown that ball over his head. We're in the bottom of the 7th at Tiger Stadium, tied 4 runs apiece. Pitch is a strike. It's 1-1, says Deegan to Tony Phillips, and Tony is still a unhappy warrior.
You can see what era that the umpire umpired in when he was in the big league. He still wears that big breast protector and stays right behind the catcher. There's the big breast protector. Usually they will be high ball umpires here because they don't see that low pitch.
Boy, that one was close, and Tony gets the benefit of the call there. Ball 2, strike 1.
Well, he's got everybody moving. Does Sparky Anderson put the hit and run on?
I don't know. Not with the move that Ketteray has been making to first base. He might pick him off over there. A youngster might go a little quick. Ketteray certainly leery of his running abilities, holding him close to first base. Ball 3. Doesn't matter how close you hold him if you don't throw strikes. And Cadaret is in danger of walking Phillips. Pete Incaviglia, he's the newest Tiger. That's him right there. He may be going to bat for Mosby.
I predict they're going to hit and run on this pitch. And I'll probably be my first one of the year, and I'll be wrong. I know I will be.
If he does, Kyler's got to get a slow start from first base. He doesn't want to break until he sees that he goes home.
Tony's having all kind of trouble today with the umpires.
Yep, he's having a bit of trouble at the plate. Let's look at that last pitch.
I think he wants this pitch to be called for high. Let's take a look at it again. Oh, it looked like a good pitch, Tony. I agree with you the last time. I thought the one pitch was outside, but that one looked like a pretty good pitch there.
Yeah, it had to be a strike. Well, we'll see if they hit and run on the 3-2 pitch. Ball 3, strike 2. Look out. Mattingly almost suckered Kyler into it. He races toward the plate. He's not going anywhere. Not Mattingly. The bunt's not in order. He tried to get Kyler moving toward second. More than likely he'll be running. There he goes. And he fouls it away. Tony says, I didn't want to swing at that one, but he's not taking anything right now. Tigers trying to take the lead here in the 7th inning. Runner at first with nobody out. And he walked him. Phillips gets a walk, and they've got him at first and second. Nobody out in the 7th inning. We're going to pause right here. 10 seconds for station identification on the Tiger Baseball Network. Well, for the latest in news, weather, and sports, you can turn to the team you can trust. The Newsbeat with Mort Krim and Carmen Harlan. That's weekdays at 5. Only on 4. Well, they leave the left-hander in, Mosby, because they want the bunt. Well, Mosby, the batter, with 2 on, nobody out, and they're rushing him. Whoa, everybody's moving. And Cadaret didn't pitch.
And look at the infielder say, what's going on? This is supposed to be a surprise play, and here you give it away.
He gave it away. That's right. Sachs raced to first base. Lavella raced toward home. The shortstop went to third, and Cadaret stepped off the mound.
Either that or this could be a pickoff play at second base.
No, you're getting too tricky for me now.
Well, you know, hoping that a base runner will take the liberty of trying to get that jump to third base and maybe try to pick him off.
He bunts, and it's going to be caught. Mosby popped it up trying to bunt, and Matt Noakes makes the play. Boy, that bunt is so important.
Well, this is a Yankee trick. They throw that high fastball on the first pitch, and there it is, hoping to get the pop out, and that's exactly what they do.
They're not going to let the left-hander pitch to Trammell.
It's been Trammell's day so far. He's driven in all 4 runs with a home run in the first inning and a double in the 5th. And they called on Eric Plunk, it looks like, the big right-hander, the hard-throwing right-hander.
And while there's a break in the action, we're going to pause for these messages on the Tiger Baseball Network.
Well, the new pitcher is the big right-hander Eric Plunk, and this guy can really bring it, as we say in the game today. He has a good fastball, overhand curveball. His best pitch is his fastball. Had a very good spring for the Yankees, as you look at his record of a year ago. Good earned run average. Anytime you're below 3, you're doing a good job. You don't see too many people with earned run average under 3. You see good strikeouts, 67 and 72 innings. Pitched well in spring training, as I mentioned. Earned run average of 1.42, 8 games, 12 innings, gave up 12 hits and 2 runs. He has a 4-2 lifetime mark against Detroit Tigers, although last year they hit him pretty hard. He only pitched 3 innings, but Tigers scored 5 earned runs against Plunk last year. Of course, 3 years with the Oakland Ball Club, the setup man for Dennis Eckersley with the Oakland team.
Okay, it's going to be Trammell, who's batted in all 4 Tiger runs today. He had a 2-run homer in the first inning, a double that drove in 2 more in the 5th that tied the game. And he's batting now with runners at first and second, 1 out in the 7th. Eric Plunk, he's a big one, 6'6", 6'7". And the pitch to Trammell. It's a strike. He got a hard slider over. Alan Trammell hit a home run over the left field fence and doubled into the left field corner. Both of those coming against Tim Leary. The runner at second, Phillips at first. They're deep on the Yankee infield. They look for the double play ball. There goes one runner, and they've got him trapped. No, now it throws in the dirt, and nobody's up.
Boy, everybody was all messed up on that play. It worked out great for the Tigers. Bill Kyler broke to go to third base. Tony Phillips saw that he was breaking, and then he started running too. Boy, they really get away here. Tony Phillips, you can see there in the monitor, he's stuck between. Decide to go to second base. And Kyler, with the great speed, turns it on and goes to third.
So the Tigers wind up with runners at first and third. And Trammell with a chance to drive in the go-ahead run. Don Mattingly, as much as anybody, went to sleep on the play. Phillips was running. Kyler didn't run. And Mattingly did not go back and cover first base. Notes took a look at him. Nobody there. Then he threw to second. One ball, one strike to Trammell. That'll make it ball 2. Ball 2, strike 1. Eric Plunk has thrown nothing but sliders since coming on. See the manager, Stump Merrill, cheering him on. Kyler, the runner at third, Phillips at first, 1 out. Takes a lot of time with runners on base. And the pitch to Allen. Ball 3. Cecil Fielder would bat next if Trammell gets on. Ball 3, strike 1 to Trammell. Kyler, he's the runner at third base. Phillips over at first in a tie ball game. The 3-1 pitch, and he pops it up. Matt Noakes has got the room, and he'll make the cave. Alan Trammell fouls to the catcher for the second out and leaves it up to Cecil Fielder.
Here comes the manager, Stump Merrill. He might be wanting to make a pitching change. Steve Farr, free agent that they signed from the Kansas City Royals, been out there throwing.
Well, Eric Plunk got a big out. He had gone to 3-1 on Trammell and got him on a pop-up.
I see something I haven't seen in the American League.
That won't work.
Everybody on the mound at the same time. National League, you're able to do that.
Yeah, that won't work here in the American League. You better clear them out, gang.
I really don't understand why you can't have everybody on the mound.
I don't know either.
What's it hurting to have everybody hearing the same instructions?
Well, he didn't clear them out.
No.
They all stayed except Lovello. He backed up a step or two.
The only reason they don't have everybody on the mound because the National League allows it, and they're not going to do the same thing as the National League. two different leagues fighting each other all the time.
That's the way it should be. All-Star Game, World Series. They don't like each other. There's Cecil. 2 on and 2 outs. And a strike on the inside corner. They might try running here. Make Matthew throw the ball around. Phillips, good base runner at first base. There he goes. And a drive into the left. A base hit. Gonna get 1 in. Maybe 2. Tigers take the lead.
Well, this is what you need. The big man picking up Alan Trammell, leaving that man on third base. Tony Phillips had a tremendous jump at first base. He would have stolen the ball, but they decide they want to come inside again on Cecil, and he hits the ball hard down the left field line.
He scores them both, and the Tigers take a 6-4 lead here in the 7th. Bernazard takes a pitch outside. A 2-run double by Cecil Fielder. Tony is 0 for 2 since getting into the game. Makes it a ball and a strike. Boy, nothing cheap about the base hits. Trammell's double into the corner, scored 2 to tie it. Cecil ripped it into the corner to drive in 2 more. He's the runner at second with 2 outs. Ball 2 and strike 1. Hard. Ball 2 and strike 2 to Tony. Eric Plunk gets ready. And a base hit into right. Here he comes. Throw to the plate, and he's going to be out. Oh, Barfield can throw. And they checked his arm, and Fielder is out at the plate. At the end of 7, the Tigers lead it 6-4. Okay, there were no Tiger home runs in the 7th inning, but because a Tiger reached base, we're going to be sending our designated Bud batter, Joe Whiter from Troy, Michigan, a Budweiser jacket and cap. Now, if you'd like to enter, you send your name, address, and phone number to Bud Batter's Box, Post Office Box 12, 258, St. Louis, Missouri, 63157, and you must be 21 or older to enter.
And I think we're going to take a look at Barfield. I mentioned may have the best arm in all of baseball. He has led the major leagues in assists the last 2 years. And this is right on the money. And look, the only chance Cecil has is to run over Matt Noakes. And he never did get the home plate. Matt is there waiting, and you see Matt didn't want any part of Cecil if he decides he was going to barrel him over. Barfield, tremendous throwing arm.
Yeah, you asked, well, why would they send him? Well, he doesn't have to throw a strike. He can throw a short hop. He can do a lot of things out there with a wet baseball. And I think Grandma's made the right call. Tigers already led by 2. There's 2 outs. Less than 2 outs, he wouldn't wave him in. And with a wet baseball, he might throw it in the dirt or over his head. Here's Barfield to lead off. And the pitch is outside.
It's a big inning for the Tigers right here to win this ball game. They get him out, and then they can go to the bullpen and get Henneman in.
1 ball, no strikes to Barfield, and a strike makes it 1-1. The old double play ball got the Tigers out of a jam in the 6th and again in the 7th. And the 1-1 pitch. Ball 2. Ball 2, strike 1 to Jesse Barfield. And he fouls this one away. Randy Velarde's in the on-deck circle. Looks like he's going to bat for Matthew. Here he is. Ball 2 and strike 2 to Jesse Barfield. He's the leadoff man here in the 8th inning. Ball 3. Ooh, you don't want to walk him with a 2-run lead in the 8th. Barfield waiting on the 3-2 pitch. Bounces it shortstop. It's going to be out as Trammell guns it over to Cecil Fielder. Barfield out number 1 in the 8th inning, and Randy Velarde will come on to bat for Matthew. We're getting a light rain at Tiger Stadium. The umbrellas are up again, a lot of them.
They thought this fellow was going to be their third baseman. He came up briefly in the end of '89 and did a tremendous job hitting .340, but really hasn't been able to hit since then.
Here's the curveball. 1 strike to Velarde. 6-4, the Tigers lead it. We're in the 8th inning. Paul Gibson ready. That'll make it 1-1. Gibson came on in the 7th inning. He's the pitcher of record. And Cataray is the pitcher of record for the Yankees. This one's high, ball 2. Ball 2, strike 1. Gibson gave up a single and a walk with 1 out in the 7th. Then he got Mullins to bounce into a double play to get out of a jam. And a fly ball to right. Rob Deere is there. It's the 2nd out of the inning. And the batter will be Torey Lovullo. Torrey's batted one time today, and he walked.
Torrey batted .270 last year for Toledo, 14 home runs, and he led the league with 38 doubles. In fact, he led the Toledo Ball Club in just about every offensive department.
And he takes a strike from Gibson. Tigers traded Lovello to the Yankees for Mark Leiter. Mark Leiter was sent to Toledo this morning when they signed in Cavilla. They'll make it strike 2 to Torrey.
And Mark Leiter threw the ball very well in spring training. Here's a guy that missed a couple of seasons because of arm surgery, but it looks like he's back on track, and
he'll be back.
I think if he gets a chance to pitch down in Toledo and does well, he'll be back.
I tell you, Lovello takes it very close, and it's 1-2.
Mike Henneman and Jerry Don Gleaton starting to throw in the bullpen.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Torrey. That'll make it 2-2.
Kind of like city outfield, a little bit deeper, particularly in center field. That you want to, if he does get a base hit, you want to try to keep him to a single with 2 outs.
Ball 2 and strike 2. Gibson gets ready, and he struck him out. A 1-2-3 inning for Gibson. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and the Tigers lead it by 2. New pitcher next inning for the Tigers.
Yep.
I guess it'd be Henneman.
Henneman, yeah, he pointed to. Okay, a couple of changes for the Yankees defensively. Big catcher behind the plate, Bob Guerin, replaces Matt Noakes, and Randy Valeri stays in the game and is playing third base.
So it'll be Rob Deere to lead off in the 8th inning for the Tigers. Deere, Tettleton, and Fryman. 6-4, the Tigers lead it. We're in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch is a strike to Rob Deere. He's flied to left and struck out twice today. Pitcher for the Yankees is Eric Plunk. He's the 3rd Yankee pitcher. Strike 2. Tigers have used 3. Tanana started, Petrie in the 6th, and Gibson in the 7th. And the 2-strike pitch. He struck him out. Rob Deere strikes out. And the batter will be Mickey Tettleton. It's 10 strikeouts today by the 3 Yankee pitchers. Mickey Tettleton has had a single today in 3 trips. Breaking ball hangs high. Eric Plump gets ready, and the pitch to Tettleton. It's a ball. Ball two. Ball two, no strikes. He should be on goal for this one. Should get something good to hit. Nope. 3-0. Yankees have out hit the Tigers 9-8. The Tigers lead it 6-4. Telling you, they sail back into the crowd. Ball 3 and strike 1. A 3-1 pitch to Tettleton. He walked him. Mickey is on for the second time today. And the batter will be Travis Fryman. White Sox jumping all over Baltimore in Baltimore, 8-1 in the 5th inning. Now the 6th inning. Not a good home opener for Frank Robinson and his crew, and they're looking for big things in Baltimore this year. Ryman is 1 for 3 today. There goes the runner, and the throw to second. He's going to be out. They had the hit and run on. Fryman swung, missed, and Guerin made the perfect throw down to Sachs.
See the pitch outside, and Travis trying to hit the ball to right field was late swinging and an easy play at second base.
Second out of the inning. There's the breaking ball high. One ball, 2 strikes to Fryman. Bottom of the 8th, and the Tigers lead by 2. I don't know what this is all about.
I think the count, he had 2 strikes and 1 ball up on the scoreboard. It's only 1-1.
1-1, okay. Travis says, I need every one of them. Here's the breaking ball outside. Ball 2, strike 1. Talking about Bob Feller a moment ago. Jeff Heath, the old outfielder. First time he ever saw Feller. We'll get it in a moment. First time he ever saw Bob Feller, he threw 2 by him right quick, and he started back to the dugout. The umpire said, it's just strike 2. You got 1 left. He said, you can have it.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
It don't matter to me.
The pitch to Fryman. It's outside. 3-2 to Travis. Mike Henneman is throwing in the bullpen, and I'm thinking he's going to be the new Tiger pitcher in the 9th inning. The 3-2 pitch. He walked him. Fryman gets a walk, a 2-out walk, and the batter will be Milt Kyler. Well, it was Kyler who started the 2-run rally on the 7th. He singled to start the inning. Scored the go-ahead run. He and Phillips both scored on the double by Cecil Fielder. And this one is low. One ball, no strikes to Milt. Runner at first base here is Fryman. He's there with 2 outs. Eric Plunk gets ready. And a foul ball. Boston leads Toronto 5-1 in the 7th, and the White Sox 8-1 over Baltimore in the 6th.
There's number 26, Steve Farr, who is expected to be their closer this year, coming out of the bullpen.
We might see him if Plunk does not get Kyler. There goes the base runner, and a stolen base for Fryman. Eric Plunk having trouble finding the plate here in the 8th inning.
Guerin, a very good throwing catcher. He threw out 40% of the potential stealers against him, but that ball was down and in the dirt. Couldn't handle it.
Ball 3. He's in danger of walking 3 in a row. We're playing in the rain here in the 8th inning. Ball 3, strike 1 to Kyler, and the pitch. He walked him. Well, he's walked 3 in a row, one of them thrown out at second. So the Tigers have 2 on, 2 outs. And the batter is Tony Phillips. I don't know what Guerin's doing. He's at the mound again.
Well, he could have gotten the sign to go out there so that gives Steve Farr a chance to warm up more.
He's been throwing, though, the whole inning.
He has been out there.
Now Deegan.
Here comes the manager, and that's exactly what was happening.
Yep. He wants to make the change. He says if Eric Plunk can't get it over, I got to get somebody in here that can. He looks like a little Lasorda.
He sure does.
Tommy Lasorda.
Looks a little bit like Yogi Berra from the back, too. He looks like a stump, is what Chuck Wozliak said, and that's why he's called Stump.
He's going to make a pitching change.
Yeah, many years in the minor leagues for the Yankees, getting a chance to manage last season.
And while there's a break in the action, we're going to pause again for these messages on the Tiger Baseball Network.
Okay, the new pitcher is Steve Farr. Here's a guy that spent 7.5 years in the minor league before getting the opportunity to pitch in the big leagues. And and has turned into an outstanding relief pitcher. He's finally able to throw his breaking ball over the plate. His best pitch is that good hard slider on the outside part of the plate. He doesn't walk very many. Signed as a free agent by the Yankees, and after a fine year with Kansas City where he was 13-7 with an excellent earned run average of under 2. In spring training, hasn't pitched all that well for the Yankees in spring training. Earned run average of over 5, 14 innings, allowed 11 hits and 8 earned runs. He's walked 4, which is unusual for him. Usually excellent control, particularly against right-handers. A good breaking ball, hard slider outside.
There's Tony Phillips. He's hitless today in 3 trips, had a walk, scored a run his last time up. And the breaking ball is outside.
Tony led the Tigers in runs batted in spring training with 14. That's quite an achievement for someone who doesn't hit home runs.
And he could put a little icing on the cake right here. And a strike makes it 1-1. Tony says, I agree with you, Mr. Deegan. That's the first time today they've agreed on anything.
Yeah. Well, this guy's going to paint the outside corner on you. You might as well make up your mind that that's the pitch I'm going to have to hit. Unless he's behind, and then he might challenge you. But he has great control.
He missed on the outside, and it's ball 2. Well, Tony hits the ball well to left field. Ball 2, strike 1. Runner at second is Fryman. The runner at first base is Kyler. Ball 3. All of a sudden, the Yankees pitching staff has lost sight of home plate. They've had 3 walks in a row, and he's behind 3-1 to Phillips. Ball 3, strike 1. Tony fouls it away. He'll be running on this pitch.
What I was going to say, one thing it gives you is the fact that the base runners will be running. The Yankees have 3 good arms in the outfield, although Kelly plays extremely deep in center field. But the left fielder and, of course, Barfield, everybody knows, great throwing arms, particularly Barfield.
Sammy Sosa just hit his 2nd home run in Baltimore. Ball 3, strike 2. Steve Farr pitching in relief of Eric Plunk. Gets ready. And he walked him. The Tigers have loaded the bases here in the 8th inning for Lloyd Moseby.
I don't know if I was Tony, I'd have taken that last pitch or not.
It was close.
Well, it was.
I think if he'd have called him out, Tony would have gotten an early shower.
Tony would have been out, yeah. Out of the game.
Out of the game. There's Moseby with a chance to really ice it. Steve Farr, who normally throws strikes, he's having trouble right now. Moseby had a double back in the 1st inning. He has doubled, walked, and scored 2 runs in this game. Ball 2. Fryman is the runner at 3rd base. Kyler at 2nd, and Phillips over at first base. And Lloyd Moseby should get something right down the middle if Steve Farr can throw it there. A strike makes it 2-1. He didn't give in to him, I'll say that.
He won't pitch you inside until he just has to. 2 strikes maybe, but he just stays on the outside to everybody, right-handers and left-handers.
Ball 2, strike 1. And a strike evens the count at 2-2. Ball 2 and strike 2 to Mosby. Barr gets ready. And a ground ball to third base now. At the end of 8, the Tigers lead it 6-4.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, travel.
Henneman is the new pitcher.
Yeah.
Looks like Mel Hall.
Well, with the Tigers leading 6-4 here in the top of the 9th inning, the new pitcher will be Mike Henneman. Mike will be the closer for Detroit, and of course, as a closer, these are the type of situations you pray for. 22 saves a year ago. There's his record: 8 wins, 6 losses, a pretty good earned run average. Wasn't overly impressive in spring training. Of course, spring training doesn't really count. A high earned run average for Mike, 5.91. 10 innings, he allowed 15 hits and 7 runs. The one good thing about that, he didn't walk but 2 batters in 10 innings. But normally he will come in and throw strikes.
It's going to be Mel Hall to lead off in the 9th inning. He'll be batting for Espinosa. Hall, Sachs, and Mattingly, the Yankee batters in the 9th. The Tigers lead by 2. And the pitch is outside. Mel Hall, 12 home runs in 1990. And he pops it up. It's in play for Cecil outside of first base. And the big guy grabs it. So there's 1 out in the 9th inning. Mel Hall fouls to the first baseman, and the batter is Steve Sachs. Youngster got lost on the way home. Wound up in the middle of the infield.
I don't know who he belongs to, but I wouldn't admit to him.
Steve Sachs, the batter. 1 out, nobody on. Tigers lead by 2 in the 9th inning. And a strike to Sachs. Want to keep this guy off if you can. Mattingly bats next. 1 ball, 1 strike. You would like for Mattingly to hit with the bases empty. That'll make it 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Henneman comes right at him. And a ground ball up the middle. It's going to be a base hit. So with 2 strikes on him, Sachs keeps it alive with a ground ball single. And this is a big hit for the Yankees.
Just out of the reach of Mike. He was ready to make the play, but the ball was hit too hard. This is not a good play by Tony. It was a good play to pick it up. But with a speedy Sachs, you want to keep him on first base. You don't want him to get on second. You have the possibility of a double play or the force out at second.
And the batter is Mattingly. John Mattingly's had a couple of hits today. He's 2 for 4. Pitch is inside. Boy, you worry about this fella.
Well, he's used to these situations. He hit 6 grand slams in 1 season.
Pitch inside, ball 2. Ball 2, no strikes. He's getting in a position to get his pitch to hit. Mike Henneman gets ready. And he pops it up. Rob Deere in right field's going to catch it. Oh, he had a good pitch to hit.
Yeah, he'd like to have that pitch back again.
Oh, would he ever?
Fastball up and in on him, or he can lift it up in the air, and he just missed it.
So they get the very dangerous Don Mattingly, and now it's Roberto Kelly. He's had a single and a walk today.
Well, they'll be guarding both lines. They should be, I think, so that he doesn't hit an extra base hit down the line. The outfielders should be playing a little bit deeper to protect against a 2-base hit.
The pitch to Roberto Kelly. Or you keep it right there. You don't worry about where he's going to hit it. It's a tough pitch for a right-handed hitter. 1 strike to Roberto. Evens the count at 1-1. Mike Henneman trying to save it here in the 9th. The Tigers lead by 2. Runner at first, 2 outs, and the 1-1 pitch to Kelly. It's a strike, and it's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, you hear the crowd. They're ready. Big crowd, and they're on go. Here's the pitch. This is going to be foul and out of play. He just got a piece of it right on the end of the bat. It's 1-2 to Roberto. Henneman, the Tiger closer, trying to put him away here in the 9th. The pitch coming up. He struck him out. Kelly strikes out, and it's all over in Detroit. Mike Henneman comes on in the ninth to get his first save of the year. The Tigers win it by a score of 6-4, and we'll be right back. Yeah. Right. Right. Okay. Well, our Budweiser Tiger player of the game is Alan Trammell, and here's what he did today. A 2-run homer in the first inning that put the Tigers in front 2-1. Then he came up in the fifth inning with 2 runners aboard and the Tigers down by 2. He hit a double into the corner in left field, driving in both runs. That tied it at 4-4, and the Tigers went on to win it 6-4. So our congratulations to Alan Trammell, our Budweiser Tiger player of the game.
Charlene, is she okay?
Real sick. You say 1 minute?
When they get going, they have about 1 minute.
Okay. And then about a minute. Okay. All right. Give me the close. Okay. Cue me. Thank you. Well, a perfect opening day. The weatherman cooperated. We had a little rain early, then just a fine day. The Tigers came through with a big 6-4 win. Trammell was great. Fielder drove in a couple.
Oh, it had everything going for it today. A big crowd, a great crowd, 47,000 plus. The weatherman, as you mentioned, held off. Some clutch hitting. Alan Trammell, of course, having the big day. A big hit by Cecil Fielder. Good relief pitching by Gibson, who got the win, and Henneman, who got the save.
Couldn't be much better. The come to expect great things here in Detroit on opening day, and Trammell started it all with a 2-run homer in the first inning. The Yankees are in town. The hated Yankees, maybe not what they once were, but it's still the Yankees and the Tigers. And Al, it's been a great rivalry down through the years.
Well, it's always great, and it's great to get off to a good start to win that first game in front of a lot of people. It brings everybody back again, and it gives them something to build on.
Okay, we're going to be right back after this message. Off camera. Off camera. See you Friday night. Okay. Okay, 4, 6, 8, and 1. And 4, 10, and 1. Got it. Well, the Tigers get started on the right foot today, winning 6-4 over the Yankees. They had 6 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. Gibson gets the win. Yankees 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, and Greg Catteray takes the loss. Mike Henneman gets a save. That's it from Tiger Stadium. For Al Kaline and Bernie Smilovitz, this is George Kell, hoping you'll be with us this Friday night at 7:30 when the Tigers take on the Chicago White Sox. Once again, the final score today, the Tigers 6 and the Yankees 4.